Hi guys, it's
Lauren Daisy.
Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the Arts and Crafts Station. So today we are going to be looking at the Rosewood Cemetery. I got a comment, hold on now, let me get my phone. So I got a comment from @Zelwani, I think is the name, and they said I'd be interested in a similar video where you talk about all the deaths in the show and who was responsible for each one. And I thought that was an incredible idea. So that is what we are doing today. We are going to go through all of the prominent Rosewood deaths. I think I only haven't included like 3. It was like Esther Potter, the old lady that Ashley steals from, Teddy, the boy that died when like Jessica was babysitting him, and I think there was like one other. Oh, Aunt Carol. So like those ones I haven't included because they aren't relevant to the plot at all. But ones that were actually relevant to the plot, we're going to go through every single one today. I'm also not going to include fake deaths. This is only real deaths. Like these people are gone. They're not coming back. So yeah, let's get straight into it with our first death, our first big death. And this happened in the year 2000, the year that I was born. And it occurs on the 24th of October. And it is the death of Marion Cavanaugh. I can't lie, I'm so proud of this one. Like the arts and craft, the levels for this one, I think I slayed. Also, I buy these like big sheets of card from the works, okay? Shout out the works. And in my local works, when I first started doing this, right, I have a Desperate Housewives one coming that's just taking so long to script. But that one has like white card, right? And I think the Alison De Laurentiis one also has white card. When I went back to buy more card, they were sold out of white and they had ivory white, which is basically like a light cream. That's what you saw for the De Laurentiis Hastings family tree. Now, when I went back in there for more card to do this video, and the video, I don't know if it's out yet, if it came out before this one or after this one. If it hasn't come out yet, look forward to that. Of like the Rosewood relationship map that I did, we had to go with this. So, actually, I think that this one might be ivory. So yeah, slowly we're moving more into yellow territory. I don't know how to feel about it. It kind of reminds me of like the shade that bog roll is in like your nan's house, you know? Anyway, we're going to keep going. So anyway, back on track. Enough about the loo roll. Marion is Toby's mum. And when we start the series, obviously she has already passed. And he believes that she ended her own life. And that is what was put on the police report. Then we come to find out that maybe there's more to her death, and it seems a bit suspicious. Toby even joins the A-team in order to figure out what happened to her. They go and speak to like her old psychologist and all this stuff, because what happened was she fell or jumped off of the roof at Radley as she was staying there. Now, and then that just kind of gets left. We don't really know what happened to her, but at least Toby kind of knows that maybe she didn't choose to leave him. Cut to Game On Charles, or Game Over Charles, I think it is. I think it's Game Over Charles, in season 6, episode 10, I think it is, when Cece is doing her kind of confessions of the fact that she was she actually tells us the story of Marion's death. And what had happened was Charles was dressed in the yellow dress that Jessica had given them, right? And then Marion comes up to the roof. Charles panics and asks Bethany, who was up there as well, they were hanging out, to help, to do something about this. So Charles goes and hides and watches as Bethany pushes Marion off of the roof of the Radley. Now, firstly, why is everyone allowed onto this roof? I'm no like mental health expert, okay? But I also think that maybe if people are somewhat of a risk, you shouldn't allow them access to the roof. Just an idea. Also, what was Marion doing up there? That's what I want to know. What was she doing up there? And like, I just feel like it didn't hit. The fact that Bethany was behind it, it just didn't give. So that is who killed Marion, is Bethany Young. I told you I went all in. Look at that shit. Bethany Young killed Marion Kavanaugh. I don't have a printer at where I live. So I have to go and get these printed when I make these videos for you guys. And when I went into the print shop and these came out of the printer, the lady was like, not gonna ask you questions. So that was October 24th, 2000. Now we are gonna jump ahead quite a bit to 2009, which is when the show, not when the show starts, because the show technically starts in, I think, 2010, but when Allison disappeared and kind of the year prior to the pilot, that's 2009. And in 2009, Bethany Young strolled into Allison DeLaurentis's front garden and died. Bethany's death has two parts to it. She has, technically speaking, two killers, kind of. The first of which, so Bethany goes to the DeLaurentis house because she wants to get revenge on Jessica for having an affair with her dad, Fairs. When she gets there, she's dressed like Allison because she had stolen Cece's clothes, right? Jessica gives the same clothes to Cece. So then when Bethany stole Cece's clothes, she had the same clothes as Allison. The iconic yellow top. And so because she's dressed like Allison, Mona sees her and literally hits her over the head with a shovel. To quote Emily Fields, "You hated Allison enough to kill her." The people in this show fully just jump to murder like it's nothing. Like it is a stroll in the park.
I killed Bethany. That night, so many people were mad at Allison. She was all alone in her yard and the shovel was right there. It all happened so fast. But if Cece hit Allie, Bethany had blonde hair and she was dressed just like Allison. I killed an innocent person.
So Mona hits her with the shovel, right, which causes the head trauma, which could have potentially killed her anyway, had she just been left. We won't ever really know. But after this, Mona flees the scene and Melissa finds Bethany's body. And earlier in the night, if you want to hear all about the night that Allison DeLaurentis disappeared, I have a video on that as well. But earlier in the night, Melissa had heard Spencer and Allison arguing, and because Bethany was dressed the same as Allison, she assumed that Spencer had hit her, and so Melissa did not want anyone to know. She was ready to cover up that death, okay? And she pushes her into the grave and buries her. And obviously we know from, I think, the second episode, it might be, that Allison, so Bethany, was buried alive, that she had dirt in her lungs, and that's actually what killed her. So that's what I mean, there's two parts to this. She might have died from the injuries that Mona gave her, potentially, but the real nail in the coffin was Melissa burying her. So they're both going up on him.
And I saw the body. I thought you killed Allison with that shovel, and I didn't want anybody to know. I pushed her in and covered her up. And I didn't tell anybody about what I did. And now I know it wasn't Allison. And she wasn't dead when I buried her.
So there we are. Bethany Young was killed by Mona and Melissa. This occurred on September 1st of 2009. From here, we don't have another death in Rosewood for 2 years. Okay? After this, Rosewood becomes somewhat of a magnet for death. It's the town where people come to die. That's okay. We love her anyway.
And in Rosewood, they just get buried.
In 2011, we have our first, I would say, kind of major death of the series, because obviously Allison's death was big, but it's in the very first episode, and she also turns out not to be dead. Whereas this one, there was proper build-up. We knew Ian, we'd seen him for a whole season, and then at the end, he dies. And I think Ian's death when you just watch it, it's probably one of the most confusing ones. A little bit of kind of backstory on Ian's death. Up until this point, Ian had been, part of the NAT club, and the liars had managed to find, with the help of, Alison making a copy of them, the videos of the NAT, like from the NAT club, which was of them and of other people in town. Spencer obviously threatens Ian with these videos. He goes after Spencer in the bell tower, and it looks like he's going to kill her, like, to keep this under wraps. And as she's hanging on to try and save her own life, a hoodie comes out of not just a like sentient hoodie, someone in a hoodie who they assumed was pushed Ian, and he had fallen into the ropes and it looked like he had died.
What are you doing here?
Ian wasn't dead. I was waiting in the back and I saw him.
We learn later that this was Alison, this hoodie. It wasn't Alison came back to save Spencer. And we then also see at the end of this episode that Ian's body vanishes. The girls think that he's dead, but his body vanishes. There's kind of a weird thing about, did he go himself, or was his body moved, and all this. And what technically is canon, because it's all very confusing, is that Ian was still alive when he fell in the bell tower, even though it looked like the rope, like, fully, it was bad. He escapes out of the back door. Later that same night, so it's still the same day, he ends his own life. And he does this with a gun, with a gunshot wound to the head. His body is then taken by Mona because he's in the same outfit that he was wearing the night at the bell tower. And I'm pretty sure the coroner said he had been dead about a week, which is, when they found him about a week earlier was, I think, the night of the bell tower. And we have to just draw our own conclusions on this. What makes the most sense to me is that ultimately he knew that he had been found out at this point. There wasn't any way to save himself. The NAT videos were going to come out. He was going to lose everything, probably go to jail. So he decided to just, not. He decided to just not. And Mona somehow finds his body wherever it was and moves his body and stages it to still look this, like, the conclusion they came to was still that he took his own life, but she planted this note to kind of make the girls feel like maybe it was something to do with the note was made up of all A texts, and it basically confessed to the murder of Alison De Laurentiis. And that's what the police think. They think, oh, of course, he ended his own life because he didn't want to go to jail for the murder of Alison De Laurentiis. But we obviously know that's not true because she didn't die. So this is a bit of a weird one because I think maybe Mona was still trying to keep that idea that Alison was dead, like keep that idea alive, because it kind of benefited her to not have Alison in the picture anymore. So yeah, Ian's killer is himself. And we don't have an exact date for Ian's death. We just know that it was early 2011. Now, we have quite a few deaths that occur in 2011. It was a very busy year. So, after Ian, we have the death of Maya. Baby girl Maya. I loved that. I loved her. I loved her so much. Justice for Maya. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. We do have an exact date for Maya's death, and that is April 13th. Now, and it's getting so dark in here, like you can see the shadow. Initially, Maya is just declared as missing, and then her body is discovered in Emily's back garden at the night of the masquerade ball.
They have the body. They think it's Maya.
Just makes no sense that I can barely breathe, and now
And we find out in season 3 that she was killed by Lyndon James, who was her ex-boyfriend that began to stalk her and couldn't accept the fact that she had chosen Emily over him.
I think that stalker from True North found me. I thought I saw him at a party the other night.
Why do you have this?
I think you know the answer.
This lighting is so bad. It's so bad, but we're gonna roll with it now. After Maya's death, we're staying in 2011, but we are coming down to October. It doesn't have an exact date. We just know October. This is when Emily is taken by Lyndon to the cabin where he says Maya's family are gonna meet them, and she realizes that he was the one that killed Maya. He then chases her into a lighthouse and she ends up killing him in self-defense with a stab wound to the stomach.
Come here. Where are you going?
Now, we're staying in October, but we do have an official date for this next one, and that is the death of Garrett Reynolds, which occurs on Halloween, the 31st of October, on the Halloween train. Garrett's death is honestly so unfulfilling. Like, the actual death is good, but I don't think we even find out who killed him until quite a bit later, and it's just very, like, there's no impact there. But it was Darren Wilden. So Garrett had kind of figured out that Wilden was shady boots and was going to expose him, or at least Wilden was worried that he had the power to, and so he shoots him. And then they put him in the box with Arya. This was also when he was dressed as the Queen of Hearts, by the way, on the Halloween train.
Garrett's gonna tell him everything.
There's 2 of them?
We can't let that happen.
Who's that? Your sister.
So now from here, we're staying in 2011, but we're moving into the month of November. And none of these deaths from the month of November have specific dates. We just know they all occurred in November, and I can at least tell you like which order they occurred in, but not their specific dates. Guys, I've messed up the line at the end here, and it's really upset me. The first of those deaths to occur is Darren Wilden, and he is shot twice, I believe, by Cece Drake because he was threatening Allison or something along those lines. I can't remember. He was going to put Allison in danger, so Cece ends up killing him in order to protect Allison. And for a while there, we are led to believe that Ashley did it until Travis comes forward and proves her innocent.
It sucks to kill someone, even when they deserve it.
Are you talking about Wilden?
He found out you were alive. Wilden was never gonna let you come back and tell your story.
It's Wilden.
The next of these November deaths, what we in the PLL fandom refer to as the never-ending November. If you want a video, I saw a comment saying to do a video on the never-ending November. If you guys want to see that, let me know. Like, literally just a summary of absolutely everything that happens in the longest month ever. But the second death from November is Jessica De Laurentiis, and she is found in the Hastings back garden. We find out later on that Mary Drake, Jessica's twin sister, was actually the one who killed her. She does this because Jessica lied to her about Charles being dead, numerous other things. You know, she just had a big vendetta against her. Who doesn't in Rosewood? And to do this, I think she takes the pills from Peter Hastings, but I don't think he knew what she was going to do with them, and poisons Jessica by swapping her pills out with lorazepam? Losartan? I don't know. So Mary was the one that actually murdered Jessica, but then Charlotte finds her, and she is the one that buries her. So again, we've got a little twofer going on down here.
What are you doing here? I thought we were taking care of this.
Pills that stopped your sister's heart. They were meant to stop yours.
We shared the same DNA, the same medical conditions.
My father.
Supplied Jessica with the medication. But I intercepted them.
You thought you could pin this on me?
I could pin a lot on you, Peter.
I think burying a dead body in my yard is plenty.
I didn't have a choice. If it wasn't Jessica, it would have been me since we owned her. I knew what you two were planning.
Mom. Mom. Mom.
No. Come on, you can't leave me. You can't leave me. No.
But because Charlotte didn't have anything to do with Jessica's actual death, she just had something to do with the burying of her, I haven't put her up here. Now, our last death of the November deaths is Shauna Fring. She dies in New York when she kind of reveals herself. I don't think she reveals herself to be but like, you know, that she's got it in for the girls basically, and she's threatening to kill the liars. So Arya hits her over the back of the head with the end of a shotgun, I think it is, which knocks her off the stage. She hits her head and she dies from the blood loss and the head trauma.
This isn't a game. So what is it? Justice. For who?
Jenna.
You fell in love with her. And once I'm done with you, she can finally get back to her life. Hey, Shauna! She's dead. You did what you had to do, okay? Spencer's right. She would have killed all of us.
Now that brings us to the end of 2011. Here is where we have our time jump. And in the time jump, so probably like 2014, 2015, Wayne Fields dies. And it truly breaks my heart because Wayne deserved so much better. We don't know Wayne's official cause of death, but because he was in the army, we can assume something happened to him while he was stationed somewhere. They don't really touch on that, but that's kind of what I would assume, I guess. So from here, we're now moving into the full-on time jump. So this is like current day, and this is 2017. 2017, a lot like 2011, was plagued by deaths. The first of those deaths is the only death we actually have a date for, and that is September 12th, and that's the death of Charlotte Drake. Past this, it all happens in 2017 sometime, but I can still give you the order in which they happened, just not the specific dates. Charlotte Drake comes out of where she was staying, kind of her like jail, mental institute kind of thing. And there's a big kind of mystery around who it was for a good chunk of the season until it is revealed to be Mona. So Mona went up to the bell tower, Ian's having flashbacks, and confronted Charlotte, and Charlotte basically admitted that she was still evil and she was going to keep the game going. And they get into a bit of a fight, and Mona accidentally kills her. She doesn't mean to. She kind of does it in like self-defense. She pushes her against the wall, and her neck hits a metal rod, which snaps her spine and kills her instantly. And then Mona throws her body from the bell tower, and that's how everyone else finds her.
And now I'm back. And everything that happened before. That's gonna feel like a picnic.
I saw her face. It's Charlotte De Laurentiis.
Okay, we're losing daylight, people. We're losing daylight. The second death of 2017 is Archer Dunhill. He is killed by Hannah when she hits him with her car. It's not intentional, but also she did kind of speed up. But to be fair, he put her through a lot, so it's fairs. And yes, they basically are trying to save Allison from him, and she ends up hitting him with her car. He goes through the windshield. It's a pretty gnarly death for PLL, to be fair. And then all of the other liars help her by burying him and trying to cover up the murder. But I'm only going to put Hannah because she's the one that actually killed him.
He's dead.
We need to tell the truth.
Yeah, what truth is that? The one where Hannah doesn't know the right pedal from the left?
Everyone just take a breath, okay? Freaking out is not gonna help any of us.
The third death of 2017 is Shower Harvey, and she is killed by Noel Khan because she's killed by a head, trauma to the head, I think. We don't actually see her death, but it's revealed that she was killed by Noel because she basically had the power to expose his wrongdoings, his dodgy business, and I think maybe she was going to. It seemed like maybe she was kind of coming around to doing the right thing. So he kills her and he leaves her in the bathtub of her room at the Radley Hotel.
Are you alright?
Sarah Harvey. She's dead.
Noel Khan, yes. But if you'd like to make a statement, Jenna, I'd recommend you...
He wasn't just out to get you and your friend Spencer. He wanted to kill me too. Sarah Harvey was first. I was next.
As Taylor Swift says, karma's going to track you down because our next death number 4 of 2017, is Noel Khan. And this may be one of the most ridiculous deaths I've ever seen on TV, but also it was incredible. So they go into the old blind hospital where Jenny used to stay, and I think it was, or something, it's like a rehabilitation centre. I don't think it was the same hospital that Spencer went to. I can't remember. Anyway, and basically they're all walking around there. Jenna's got a gun. It's crazy. And Hannah and Emily are upstairs and they're kind of fighting with Nolan in self-defense. They push him off of them and he falls backwards and lands on an axe that decapitates him. And his head bobs down the stairs. Are you kidding me? Iconic. Our next death, oh my god, you can't see, you can literally see fuck all, but it's okay. Our next death, second to last death, is Yvonne Phillips, and that was Toby's fiance, and they get into a car accident together. Toby survives. Yvonne has serious injuries. She goes into a coma, but ultimately dies from her injuries, which was really, really sad. It was really, really sad. And also lazy writing. To just kill someone off is lazy. I'm sorry, but it is. In order to get her out the way so that Spencer and Toby could end up together. Rude. Absolutely rude. Love Yvonne. Love her. Our last death of the series is Ren Kingston, and he is killed by Alex Drake. I think she hits him with a pipe or something, and it breaks his windpipe or something. I can't even remember. And basically her motive for killing him was that he couldn't accept the fact that she was going to be Spencer. He saw her as Alex, and so she kills him. She kills him and she turns him into a diamond. How romantic.
The plan was to be you with Ren.
But no matter what, he always thought of me as Alex, and I didn't want to be her anymore.
So you broke up with him?
No, I can never do that. But he is always close by. I turned his ashes into an eternity stone. Because diamonds last forever.
I think this death also could have occurred in 2018. It's not very clear because there is quite a bit of time between the penultimate episode and the finale, so could go either way. So It is now nighttime, which honestly is kind of fitting for the spooky vibes of the Rosewood Cemetery. No, we're going to give you a little summary rundown, as we do at the end of all of these videos. So, welcome to the Rosewood Cemetery. First up, in 2000, on October the 24th, Marion was pushed off of the Radley roof by Bethany. Then we jump to 2009, September 1st. Mona hits Bethany Young with a shovel, and then Melissa buries her alive. Jump to 2011, sometime early 2011, Ian Thomas has his own life. Then we have April 13th, 2011, Lyndon James kills Maya St. Germain because he was a jealous ex, basically. And he leaves her in Emily's backyard. Come down to October 2011, and we have Emily kills Lyndon James in self-defense in the lighthouse with a stab wound to the stomach. Next up, on October 31st, on the Halloween train, Darren Wilden, dressed as the Queen of Hearts, kills Garrett Reynolds with a gunshot wound because he thought he was going to expose his dodgy dealings, and they put him in the box with Arya. Then we have the Neverending November. So sometime in November, the first death we see is Darren Wilden's. He's killed by Cece trying to protect Allison. She shoots him twice. Next in November, we have Jessica De Laurentiis. She is poisoned by Mary by swapping her medication, and she is buried in the Hastings back garden. Then our last death of November is Shana, and she was killed by Arya by knocking her over the head, and then she falls off of the stage. So blunt force trauma, I think. It's been a long time since I watched CSI. And then, yeah, so, and obviously blood loss, she dies, killed by Arya. Next, in the middle of the time jump, we're not quite sure when, could be 2014, could be 2015, Wayne Fields dies, RIP. 2017, we're in the time jump, we're in half of season 6, season 7 now. September 12th, Charlotte Drake dies after Mona kind of kills her in self-defense, pushes her against the metal rod, which snaps her spine. Then the rest all occur sometime in 2017, but I can give you the order. So first up, we have Archer Dunhill is hit by Hannah in her car and buried by all of the liars. Next up, we have Sarah Harvey, and she was killed by Noel because he was scared that she was going to out his dodgy deals. Next up, we have Noel, who is pushed in self-defense by Emily and Hannah, falls onto an axe and decapitates himself, I guess, sort of. Then we have Yvonne, bless her, just a victim of the writers, and she dies after a car accident. She succumbs to her injuries. And then our last and final death of, not the PLL universe, because obviously we have Original Sin. If you want me to do this for Original Sin, that wouldn't really work because they were all killed by A. Well, most of them were. Anyway, I've got more Original Sin videos coming that are better than that idea I just put out there. Our final death of this PLL universe is Ren Kingston, and he is killed by Alex Drake and turned into a diamond. So, that is, it's so dark. I need to go to bed or eat dinner. I'm absolutely starving. So, thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what was your favorite death. If you stayed until the end, I'm also doing a video where I rank all of the PLL deaths, so look forward to that. And yeah, let me know which one was your favorite in the comments. Like this video, subscribe, and comment down below, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Ow! Oh, that really hurt.